Hey guys, welcome in. I'm Taffany and this is Tika's Gardens, and today I am going to finish moving the last two winter gem boxwoods. I've kind of looked the last couple of days to figure out where to put it, and I narrowed it down to two places, but one could prove to be a problem because of wires and cables and stuff, so that narrowed it down to one place for me. So I think I am going to put them right at the entrance to the walkway behind me. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay guys, as I mentioned before, there's a few plans for over here. So I'm gonna take out the winter gem boxwoods. I started with the 3 here and I moved them right here to replace the gardenias that were struggling. And you can see this one has a little damage from the frost that came through, but otherwise they're okay. But that leaves me with 2. And I originally thought I could do an evergreen hedge here in place of the white fencing, make an evergreen hedge there and here, which would require me to get 2 more. But because of the cables coming across here, and of course there's a sprinkler head right there as well, and then on top of that, tree roots, which I've got covered with mulch, but this tree right here has big roots that are right in here. I thought it just might be a little bit too much trying to get stuff planted, and I didn't want to hit cables and stuff, so I can just use the vines to cover the fencing to give it a kind of a green wall look without trying to plant there. So that narrowed it down to the entrance here. So what I think I'm going to do is take these pots and move them back just to right here, as you can see, so they'll be right in front of the fence on each side entering the vegetable garden, and move the eugenias and let that area be the spot for the winter gem boxwoods. They get 3 to 4 feet tall and wide, so they'll fill in that space pretty good once they're mature, and it could be a formal marking for the entrance. And I suppose they could be trimmed into cones or rounded, whatever the case may be. So I think I have settled on the entrance here. It's a good compromise, and it will give a formal, marking for this walkway. So I definitely don't mind it. And the pots will still be in the area, and being up against the fence, it'll add a nice pop of color next to the angelonias if they come back. If they don't, I'll put new ones out. But anyway, that is the plan, guys. So we're gonna get those 2 moved and get all of these things, moved from there. And that's going to be it. And the sunshine ligustrums that I transplanted the other day are doing good. I haven't figured out if this is from a bird or what, that white fuzz that just showed up the other day. But as you can see, they're looking pretty good there. And the camellia back here, look at that big bold white bloom. Now imagine the white sun patiens around it as well. Is that not beautiful? Look at that. Now imagine when this gets bigger and it's full of these white blooms in the winter. And I wanted to do a lot of white back here because of there's so much shade. Oh, that's gonna be so pretty. So pretty. All right, well guys, another update. You can kind of see we've been kind of looking at this Mexican heather. So let's cross our fingers and see if it comes back. If it doesn't, I have to change my plan for the outer edging for the walkway, because I want something that will be green and can take the frost. And I know several of you were like, boxwoods, boxwoods. Boxwoods are expensive, so if I do boxwoods, it'll have to be a few at a time. But anyway, we're gonna get Miss Tika away from the fence so she doesn't get through the hole, and then we're going to get planting. Come on. Come on, girl. She's very funny. She is always back here in the vegetable garden. Oh, speaking of that, look at how this lettuce is doing. None of this was covered, and it is just growing. It has grown through the frost. Very interesting. And I didn't cover up the collards, and they're growing. I also did not cover up the mustards or turnips, and those turnip greens over there are growing. We cut back a lot of the mustard before the frost so that we did, just to make sure I didn't lose any of it. It didn't go to waste. And it looks like little new sprouts are coming back. And same thing here. We cut some of the collards to make sure if the frost took it that we got as much of it as we could before the frost. And we've got new growth coming from it. So we've got some things that made it in spite of the frost, and others that are like, nope, I'm done. All right, so anyway, guys, that's kind of an update of things, but let's get these boxwoods moved, and let's get them into their new spot here at the entrance, and move the pots back and everything. So I need to grab my gloves and my shovel, and let's get started. All right, guys, so we're going to take these and move them back here. So let's go. I have them on these concrete pavers for them to be level. All right, let's get this one over here and see what it looks like. Definitely not even. I don't think that's too bad. And we have to imagine it with flowers and stuff in it. Nice, beautiful color. All right, let's move the other over, and then we'll step back and get a really good look. All right, let me step back. I don't think that's going to be too bad. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what it looks like once everything is in bloom. See if it adds to the look as I'm hoping. But this is the only spot that I can think of for right now for them. All right. I'm going to go ahead and take the Eugenias out. They've been moved around and we've had them for a bit, but they're not my favorite. So we'll get rid of these or give them to my neighbor. And we will make room for the boxwoods. All right, I'm just looking because I'm like, huh, I don't know. I'm going to give it a shot, see how it looks once everything's in bloom. We can always move pots. They're movable, so, well, pretty much anything's movable, so we'll see. I think that if it had something with height in it, these grasses are nice, but I think if it had taller grasses, something in the middle with beautiful flowers, I think that height would add to this entrance better. And it's hard to kind of tell if something's going to look good when everything's dormant, but I think it'll work. I think it will work. All right, anyway, let's get the boxwoods moved, and then we'll take a step back and look at everything. Since this is the perfect time of year to transplant, I'm trying to get it all done before it warms up, but the weather has just been crazy. Yesterday was 80 degrees. 80. And today it is supposed to be something like 78, 77. So who knows what's going on. But I'll take it. I'm not going to complain. To have the warm temps without all the humidity of the Texas summers, definitely will take it. Look at the size of the root of this thing. It is heavy. Whew. All right, let's dig the holes and then get these in ground. Ooh, ooh, heavy, heavy, heavy. I think this is going to look good. Because the root on this one is so big, I definitely need to make sure I make this hole wide enough without damaging the root of my beautiful shrub right here. Well, we got the hole big enough. We just got to get it in here so that it's kind of standing in a way that makes sense. So we'll see how these things do in this heat. When I purchased them, it was just to kind of test out and see how they would do. Miss Tika is back there hunting birds, so we're going to need to go get her because she's near a bird nest, which I don't want her to get into. Okay. Yep. That's it. All right, let me grab Tika real quick. All right, we got her out of that bird's nest. I was hoping she would not find it, but she did. The pile of wood that we have back there in the courtyard garden, birds have gotten behind it and made a nest, and I've seen the male and the female back there. So, but she's over here for right now. So I don't know if there are babies in there. I'm guessing there are, but for right now, they're safe. All right. Now let's do this side. And keep in mind, this side is wider than this side because this part here, the walkway narrows. So as I've said many times, in my yard, nothing will ever be 100% proportional because it's just not possible. So just plant as well as you can so the eye sees proportion. So I think I'm going to put it about right here. So it will visually give the same amount of space in appearance behind it. Keeping in mind that these will eventually grow and widen and fill in these spaces really well anyway. Tree root. There used to be a big tree right here that we had cut down, which allowed us to make the vegetable garden. So there's still some roots from it. This is the root right here. Luckily, they are brittle and drying up. Kind of pulled up the edging here. So let's get it back down. Alrighty. Oh, you never know what you're gonna get. Now the roots on this one is not as big, but we still want to make the hole a good size. All right. The soil over here is really nice. There's still some clay in it when you get deeper down, but the first few layers are really, really rich. So putting compost and the wood chips and stuff down has definitely paid off. All right, let me get another stake to put there. Okay, all right. But before I do that, let's just kind of take a look in general. I can envision what it's going to look like once these are bigger and filled in more. So I don't think I would do a cone shape here. I think I would let them fill out to a rounded shape so that it's a nice full figured item here on both sides. I think that would look good. All right. Well, let's get this staked up and then we are done. I have some other things I need to do, of course, like trimming down some of the other things like the Texas marjoram and things like that, but I'll get to those a little bit at a time. But this is what I did want to finish up. So I'm glad we've got those in. I got to get them watered, got to get the stake. It'll be done. So let me go grab that stuff and then we'll finish up. All right, I got a couple of stakes. So we'll put one here and one here. Got to get them watered in. Tika's ready to go in the house. I'm going to make her stay out because she's always bugging me to come out, and now she wants to go in. I know you're probably wondering why I didn't fill the holes with water like I've done with the others. And honestly, I was so busy trying to get them in the ground, I forgot. There's no reason. That would have been the best thing to do, but all right, guys. Well, they're in and everything is set up. These are on my if list. I'm going to see how it looks, but I think with something tall in them with beautiful bold pops of color around it, this can be a beautiful marker for the entrance to the vegetable garden. But we'll see. But what I do definitely like is having these here. I can envision them once they're, full height and they're rounded and pruned very well. I can see that, with some, flowers coming up to them. And then, the whole collection of evergreens in different shades of color, like the Miss Lemon Abelias here, the really deep, rich burgundy crepe myrtle with this pink flowers. And then we've got the beautiful pink flowers here on this Eleanor Tabor Indian hawthorn. So all these different shades and textures of evergreen mixed in with the boxwoods. I really think that's going to look good. So I'm pleased with these. We're going to see how this looks once we get the pots jazzed up, because sometimes you have to have things fixed up in order to really see. But I think they're going to be good. Tell me what you think, guys, about these being here. But that was the best solution that I could come up with for right now. But anyway, that is it for today, guys. Now, you may be wondering, what am I going to do in this spot where I moved all of those boxwoods? Well, like I said, I wanted to move them while they're still small so that there's not going to be a lot of stress on them, like it would be if I let them stay there and get bigger. So I felt like it's best to do it now, since I know long term they're going to have to be moved. But for the empty space around the Mexican lime tree for right now, I can do annuals, something with color, something that's not permanent. So when it is time to start work, there is, nothing that needs to be transplanted. You can just pull up the annuals. But anyway, that is it for today. That is the plan. That is what everything is looking like. I love it. And I want to thank you guys for gardening with me today. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.